one thing I like about him is that he's confident enough to stand out as an independent candidate, and that's something that I look up to and I respect him.
I think another takeaway is that if you don't have Bitcoin exposure yet, you can do so through other stocks that can do that for you. If you feel that Bitcoin is a bit expensive to buy, you can at least participate and have some exposure through those stocks like MetaPlanet, MicroStrategy.
Feeling motivated that Bitcoin will reach $1 million in a few years' time, I will set aside some of my savings to buy at least one.
I felt very happy that I finally managed to win the $1,000 in a trade. This is in buying the spot for Solana. I bought at around 122.02 and I sold half my holdings at 180, so I still have the other remaining half.
I'm very happy and grateful that I collected my first ever award from MWA. Of course, I would say it's the easiest among all because you won't feel any pressure when you're just putting in a dollar. Like you have to put $10,000 just to win the other awards, like 1,000 in the USDT in the trade, $10,000 USDT in the trade. So to get this award right, basically anyone can get it. It's very achievable.
Something that I take away from all the coaches is that, especially Rash, even if you fall down 7 times, get up 8 times. So although I waited very long to get these awards, but still happy that I can still get up.
got some amazing people, speakers who have actually brought along, many of them are multi-millionaires, right, who trade with millions of dollars. And the whole idea behind the retreat is very, very simple. I really want y'all to learn, I want y'all to earn, I want y'all to really understand the mindsets of what it takes to be able to trade bigger sums of money.
Bitfunder, right, is actually nothing new. It's what we call a prop firm platform that is used to be available in many other assets. And then Bitfunder is the one that focuses in crypto trading. How it benefits our students is because this basically is a platform that provides you the funds to trade with, which you can trade, make profit, and take your share of profits, right? So for people who are not comfortable or ready to invest big amount, big sum of real cash of their own pocket, it helps for them to leverage other people's funds so that with a small funds they're paying, they get to receive a challenge account that they can use for trading and generate profits and get their shares in it.
Okay, so the CEO came today. So one of the things that I like about is his journey. Like he used to from Forex, then after that how he started the prop firm. I think his mission is to teach people how to trade properly, which is good. And of course Carlos sharing of how he actually plays a trade, whereby he shared that he only trade Bitcoin most of the time, is something new to me lah. Yeah, so that is something that I will also be looking at. Trade more Bitcoins than the altcoins, which quite sort of align with what I plan to do as well.
One thing I like about Bitfunder is that I must give credit to Bernard, because besides introducing us to this account, he also teach us how to trade using Bitfunder and what are the rules to observe so as not to burst the account. So that's one thing I think many of the members really appreciate Bernard for that. And I think it's a good cause that MWA did bring in for the student.
Bitfunder is being introduced to me by MWA, of which I was very, very grateful and thankful. Yeah, and with Bitfunder, I think I can go a much further way and make a lot more money and learn careful trading instead of reckless trading, and that's a good thing.
Hey guys, we just wrapped our event with Bitfunder, one of the world's leading crypto prop firms. And the idea is very, very simple. We fund you, you trade. Minimal downside to you and unlimited upside in terms of profits for you as well. Again, check us out, Modern Wealth Academy and Bitfunder.
All right, everyone, let's welcome Coach Fang Ying.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. All right. If you can hear and see my chat on the screen, please type something in the chat box. Hi, Kingston. Hi, Melanie. Okay, good. Yeah, I need to get used to YouTube being a bit laggy. Yeah, I remember this. Okay, guys, let's get started. All right. It's already 9:06. Mali, is that all you need to share?
Yes, Coach Fang Ying.
It's gone, so I think I can start already. All right, guys. So yeah, let's start tonight's AMA. I hope you have been monitoring or placing trade for the past 1 week, and tonight you got things to ask about. Right? Although, okay, while waiting for questions coming in, so let's just take a look at the general market movement first. All right. Okay, hi everyone. Okay, I see many highs. Good, thanks. All right, so basically, this week I would say the market is relatively quiet, right? If you can see compared to last few weeks, right, where the market, this is a daily chart, right? So we use Bitcoin as an example, right? You can see compared to last week's volume and the price movement, this week is literally a very, very quiet consolidating phase, right? That is these 5 candles right now shows us a very solid consolidation period, right? Because they are start in the range and each candle is not giving much of a price movement, right? Which is why you see many tokens this week. Usually the movement is about like 1 to 2% up and down, right? So if you are not so experienced with trading, right, this week is not the easiest day to trade, right? Even me find it a bit hard or to time or make a decision to enter, because most of the time when you see a proper indication, right, the price is already not in the ideal position to enter. So I mean, also today, even like last night, like the Nvidia's the earning, right, didn't really impact the market as expected or as previous run, right? The market, it was actually a positive result, but neither Nvidia or related AI tokens did as like much pumping as last time, right? So yeah, also it's very clear right now. Bitcoin just kind of like had a breakdown from the previous like this year's all-time high, and then now is testing this support zone again, right? So for next week, over the weekend, we don't expect much movement, but judging by the experience from last weekend, we know, right, there's always a chance it pump at like 4 a.m. and in the Monday morning, which we are all sleeping. So if next Monday, be it like before at the early part of the day or during the stock market opening, right? If it actually finally show us where the price is going, then it will help us to decide better or give us a better indication on the market trend, right? Because right now, while it start here, we're expecting two kind of scenario, right? Either it holds this support and bounce back up, then next week will be relatively more bullish, right? But if next week it start to break down here, then we have actually quite a bit of range for the Bitcoin to correct again, right? So next very immediate support we can see is about 101K, which is relatively the lower price we can expect it to hit, right? Because for in the current market sentiment, I don't really expect it to go below 100K anymore, right? So for now, let's just wait and see, right? But of course, we all know that as we talked about this many times already, right? Towards the later half of the bull market, we are actually seeing what we call fund rotation or money rotation game, right? So a lot of funds are actually exiting Bitcoin and move to other altcoins. First, we are looking at is the Ethereum. And Ethereum, it is definitely showing a very, very strong bullish movement. It's going up ever since like the beginning of this quarter, right? And so far, at least for Bitcoin, at least for Ethereum, right, seems that it's holding the uptrend still, right? In fact, it's so bullish, it doesn't even retrace as much as we're expecting, right? So right now, same thing for Ethereum, though. It's very funny because it's actually holding a relatively higher range of support now, which is about 4.3K, right? So actually same, even though Ethereum is relatively seems a bit more bullish compared to BTC, considering all the funds are moving into it, right? We still need to see whether this support can hold or not. If 4.3, 4.4 range cannot hold, then if it come down to retest, we are seeing it reaching the lower 4 range, right? But if it bounce up from here, then the bullishness is more, it will be more solid. Right, and also these 2 days, we also see one thing, right? Apart from Ethereum, there's also another altcoin that attracted a lot of attention, and then you can actually see if you access like those analysis website or data website, or you're tracking the volume, you know that a lot of whales are actually buying Solana. Oh, sorry, the chart a bit messy. Wow. Yeah, so Solana also relatively is bullish ever since the beginning of this quarter. It has been going up, haven't seen a really, really serious pullback, right? And then these 2-3 days, we can actually see a huge buying volume on Solana, right? That means whales are actually accumulating it. So short-term wise, we can see the Solana moving relatively bullish. And in fact, after testing the 200 range for a few times, right? Yesterday, it actually finally broke above, right? We are seeing Solana moving above $200 now. So this is one of the bullish sign on Solana, right? Hope we keep up this movement and then continue to go up until it give another all-time high before it come down and retest again, right? But of course, if let's say apart from the Ethereum, right, then the main big caps we are looking at is like Binance, XRP, and Solana, these 3. There's one more, Bernard's favorite coin, LTC. Yeah, so we can see actually the funds are transferring into this slightly bigger cap coins, right? If let's say Ethereum, I don't think Ethereum will, people will exit Ethereum so fast, because like many investors, I'm pretty sure people are expecting it to go above the 4K range, right? Until then, right, I don't think the take profit on Ethereum will be so drastic. So we can still expect it to even pull back, can still show some bullish movement for the next few weeks. But at the same time, we can start to look at the slightly bigger cap of altcoins like XRP and BNB already. Okay. All right. Yeah. So as I said, this week the market is relatively quiet and slow-mo, right? So nothing much to analyze. And generally speaking, I prefer to see a really nice indication of direction of the market movement. I hope to see such thing for next week, because this week, honestly, it's a bit hard to trade when the price movement is relatively low, and then on and off you see certain coin palm and down, but it's a bit hard to catch, because usually there's like a 1 or 2 candle, and you are either too late or you don't feel comfortable entering because the percentage moved too much. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's all from me. Okay, now we are open for questions. So if, let's say, for the past 1 week, you have any trade you want to analyze together, or any particular token you are looking at, you want to, see or check whether the potential setup you're eyeing for is it valid, then we simply just type the token in the chat box, and also preferably you add the time frame you're looking at and also the direction you're looking at. Okay, so I already see. Okay, Ash, can we enter long on Solana now? Solana. Yeah, I mean Solana, wait, let me see a shorter time frame. Yeah, actually Solana on Wednesday it already broke out, right? And then it actually did a retest on Thursday, right? If you look at the 4-hour candle, right, less noise, right? Actually, now technically, if we look at this as a successful breakout, so around this range, right, is by right where we enter. And right now, actually, I believe this is Friday, this afternoon, right? There's actually a pullback. So now you can see, right, one thing about this chart is with this immediate pullback twice, we actually see a potential double top. So it's not as bullish as I like. So personally, right, if I want to long now, right, I would rather wait for this candle to close a bit more bullish compared to this doji here, right? But I believe, but if let's say, I think Coach Lei Hian posted a trade call on this trade, right? So if we look at a lower time frame, you can see, right, this one is actually a double top, and the candle, I don't like it because it kind of closed below the neckline, right? And then following the pullback, the support reverse candle is not as bullish as I like. So right now, this candle already, and just now had a very unhealthy kind of pump, right? So now if the price pull back, that time, or if let's say it close below the support line, then I'll prefer not to long anymore. If you want to, what was the entry point? Anyone remember what's the entry point? Is it 210 something, right? Yeah, because you see, if let's say later, if you really want to enter the long and willing to take the risk of it breaking down, right, then I also would rather enter if only this red candle currently forming later don't close below 50 EMA, and also do not be more than half of this green body, right? Because if that happens, then it will show a relatively weak sign, and that also result in one thing, which is in short time frame, we are gonna see what is this pattern? Anyone can see? Can anyone see what chart pattern is this? If this candle go below triple top, yeah. Okay, triple top, or if you consider this a bit higher, you can call it a head and shoulder, but same thing, right? Either way, I'll say the 207, 208 range will be quite important. If this candle goes below or goes below 50 EMA, then I would prefer to wait for one more candle, make sure it doesn't close below. Because once it break down, there's a chance of it go down further, right? And the next support we see is around 203, 202.9 here. Right, then unless you want to put your stop loss below the 200 MA and around this range, right, to make sure even if there's a dip, you can survive the trade. Otherwise, then I would rather to see a strong bounce from the 207 range, or if it break down below, then I wait for it to bounce off the lower support. Because if it goes down here, then later your 200 EMA more or less will consolidate around this range. Right, so either there will be two scenarios. Either if let's say it goes lower a little bit, then go up, then I will feel okay to long. Then if not, then I rather wait for it to bounce first, then long, like that. So either one. Okay, if it break down, then I also won't short within this range because it's quite a tight range, right? Then if it holds here or here, then either way I will feel very comfortable to long because my risk to reward ratio will be make more points. Okay. Okay. Let me see any questions here. Oh, can I look at Bitcoin dominant time frame, daily time frame, and evaluate if it's head and shoulder chart pattern indicating it's going down? Head and shoulder. Okay. Oh, BTC, not BTC dominant, sorry. Okay, Bitcoin wise, I would say depends on how you look at. Just now on daily chart, I did say, right, Bitcoin apparently is right now stuck in this support range, right, which previously actually it tested a few times before it break up, which is around 112 to 112 to 110 range, right? So does it look like a head and shoulder? It okay, this one kind of look like a double top to me. Yeah, which is also why I'm very keen to see the result of this pattern reacting to the support, right? If we bounce back from here, we can consider it as, I mean, this overall this range can be considered as its neckline, right? Then if it bounce up, then obviously this double top or head and shoulder, I mean, if you look at like that, like this, you mean? I mean, the last shoulder a bit slanted lah, but I get the idea, right? So if it bounce from here to next week, Monday, then obviously this double top or head and shoulder or triple top, whatever we call it, will no longer be valid, right? But if it actually this candle or next candle it actually close below, then obviously this indicates a chance of it falling a bit more, right? Because one thing is, if you look at the market sentiment right now, it's like the fear and greed index is like in the middle, very neutral, right? So there's if you talk about a proper pullback before the final bull run, right? Last time, if you remember, during the last year or the year before, I mean, basically in the history, right, when they actually pull back, right, it will go a bit lower. Right, because right now it's like in the middle of nowhere, right? So there's still, personally, I think there's still room for further pullback before it bounce, give a strong push and then go back to the final bull run, right? So right now I'm neutral, but I'm more inclined to the side that if there's a chance of it go down further, which is why I think personally, right, or I expect this actually to break down and retest, right? Yeah, and no matter what chart pattern you see here, right, we always remember what we were taught, right? A chart pattern is only considered valid or triggered if the net line is broken, be it a head and shoulder or cup and handle or whatsoever, right? We need to see whether it break down or not. And in fact, right, if you are the kind who don't judge the support and resistance by zone, right, you can actually see previously on Monday, like this earlier this week, actually it already show a breakdown, right? But then for the next few days, it's actually going back to retest this support line, right? So if this red candle close, below, right, it can consider as a retest successful, which if for Bitcoin, if I don't really take the zone as an indication, I just take at this line, which is about 112K as the slack line, then actually I can consider it as a broke down already. Does that make sense? It's just that for Bitcoin, we like to give a bit of buffer to run because Bitcoin, involving too many institution trading, sometimes the price movement can be a bit extended and then come back down. I shrunk, prepared to short. Yeah, personally, as I say, right, I'm preparing for both ways, right? But personally, what I see here, my personal expectation for the market for next week is actually more of a short opportunity, right? But of course, as I said, you see right now, right, because people are actually taking some profit from Bitcoin and maybe next 1 or 2 weeks from Ethereum as well. Right, so when they move to a certain big cap altcoin, that particular token might go against the market. But general sentiment I see here is I'm expecting more falling. Yeah, I mean, we can prepare to long and short, right? Just see whichever got triggered, then we go. Okay, Bitcoin. Any more questions? Tonight very quiet. Huh? Solana? Oh, SG Pay, you just joined it. We just went through Solana. Okay, so just now I already said, because right now I'm actually seeing a potential head and shoulder here, right? So if let's say we are looking for long, then in short term wise, I need to make sure this candle don't close red. But then in a way, it means that this green candle, which is a bullish engulfing, actually have moved quite a far bit from the support already. How many percent is that? Yeah, it's about 2% already. So if you go above, right, then if you still want to long, you also need to consider the risk to reward ratio still makes sense or not, right? To me, it doesn't. All right, but if it doesn't bounce here or this candle later go below or continue to go down, and then it go to test the next support, then I will consider look for a entry when it rebounds from here. Okay, of course, if it doesn't rebound here, it go down further, break below 200 MA, then that will be a different story. But as I said, these few days, right, people, there's actually a lot of institutions buying Solana. So the price movement, I'm expecting it to be a bit stronger, right? I don't expect it to crash too much. But you know that Solana in the bull market, is one of the big cap, tend to have history that has long weeks if we look back, right? The weeks, like basically Solana's price can slip quite a lot, right? So if you are doing like low ball ordering on Solana, then make sure you calculate your risk properly, right? You see how many times it's weak when they pull down, can actually go slightly over your, like a major support, which is usually where we put our stop loss, right? So if you trade Solana, right, by like a predictive way of trading or doing low ball order, make sure you protect your downside properly. Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, is that clear? Any, like, you ask Solana because you want to long, I assume? Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid wise, I think last time when I go through Hyperliquid, I did mention for Hyperliquid, right, I like actually generally Hyperliquid's movement in this cycle, especially this year, is generally quite bullish, right? But I just find that Hyperliquid, because of price movement a bit volatile. So personally, I like to trade Hyperliquid but on spot, because like okay, there are a few tokens I mentioned a few times I prefer to trade on spot, right? Hyperliquid, Solana, and one more is TRX. Okay, because they are same reason, because sometimes the downside, right, a bit hard to protect if you're trading with a futures, right? The stop loss a bit hard to protect your position when it have a long week down, right? But Hyperliquid generally compared to a lot other coins is quite bullish, right? It's actually 4 hours start to show a potential of crossing, right? But generally, compared to a lot of tokens that already trading below 200 MA, is still relatively strong, holding above, right? So for Hyperliquid, I would say it's one of the stronger coin. And right now on a smaller time frame, you can actually see it just fall down, but similar to last time, seems there's a chance of it to crawl its way back up, right? So short term wise, right, I'm still quite bullish on Hyperliquid. But if you were to trade, right, just to show you why I don't like to trade on futures, because first of all, Hyperliquid's price movement is quite good, right? So sometimes even if you trade on spot, right, you can actually expect a good return in percentage, right? At the same time, you can afford to have your stop loss or a bit at a slightly like safer percentage, right? Otherwise, if you trade on futures, then sometimes you cannot have your stop loss at an ideal percentage, right? So Hyperliquid wise, like if you look at the chart, generally if later it closes back above 200 MA, then it seems like it's still look good to continue longing, because then this is actually a support range, right? About here. Yeah, about this here. Then seems it just got retested properly, right? But same thing, wait for this candle to close, see whether it can break above 200 MA first. Okay. If let's say this candle later got rejected here, then I won't do anything. I'd rather wait for it to retest the support area again, which is this area. Okay, so for Hyperliquid, I'm expecting two scenarios. One is it go above, then another one is it get rejected, retest this area, and then if it can hold and bounce back up, then that way I feel more comfortable to long. And at the same time, if I trade around this range, my risk to reward ratio will definitely be nicer, right? At least with this kind of risk to reward ratio, I feel more comfortable to trade with that range. Right, you can go even put at previous low, something like that. Okay. Okay, next. ADA is similar to Chainlink, right? Actually, it's holding quite okay. Yeah. So yeah. ADA, I haven't looked at ADA for a while, but similar lah. So basically, if you look at a slightly bigger time frame, right, it's at the moment it's actually trading a bit. Like for the past few days, it's actually trading a bit lower, right? And also I don't like this week. Let me draw a range, right? Sometimes if you see a week too long, right, it might be like a bit of out of range, then we can use a channel to draw, so like we can kind of like have a range, because this shows that this token sometimes can pump a lot but cannot support the price, right? But if you look at generally, it's very similar to this chart. Looks very similar to Bitcoin, right? Like the movement, right? So similarly, if we zoom out, we can see whatever you call it, like the cup and handle, or double top, but not so regular. But generally, we can see the most important support line now is about the 200 MA range, which is 0.83, right? It just broke down a little bit, but if later it goes back up, then that means it kind of had a fake up, but managed to hold this support, right? But if this one got rejected and continue to go down, right, then actually I'll see same as Bitcoin same as Bitcoin, then I see a chance of it pulling back a bit deeper before bounce back up again, right? Then I think Tuesday that time, when I was sharing, right, ADA is one of the coin he's have very high conviction in, right? So if we pull down, then you can also plan some entry if you want to get into a position in ADA. Yes, want to long cause news say institution buying Solana and haven't hit all-time high yet. Yeah, lor. So, I mean, one of the ways, if you're not greedy and if you don't have much monitor, to do research or monitor the market, right? One of the easier way is actually follow where money goes, right? So institutions are buying Solana and haven't hit all-time high, then whatever price point you think makes sense, you can start to buy a bit lah. But you can see right now, Solana just break out. So whatever you are buying, you can only expect it to go up, right? But if you are the kind who actually like more of a trader mindset, then you might, if you are not like a position holder mindset, right, then you want to maximize your profit percentage, then of course it will be better if you can get in a better price, right? Because right now with this breakout, right, if you get in, you are definitely getting in a relatively high point. And we know that right now Bitcoin, Ethereum are all sitting at the support, right? If they pull back, even no matter how strong Solana is, market will still follow the big ones to have a correction, right? Then not say it won't come. I mean, as we all know that Solana still very far from this year's all-time high, right? Which is 250, 260 range, right? But then if let's say you buy now, then when there's a correction, then it simply means you need to wait longer, right? But if you think that, okay, since it's institutions are buying, then there's no way for it to come below 200 again, then start to buy a bit lah. But I won't suggest you to go all in yet. Hi, fine. Can look into ENA later. ENA, okay, sure. ENA just had a breakout last night, which is annoying because I was shorting it, but well, there's nothing we can do about it, right? So, yeah, generally speaking, ENA yesterday had like a few fake out here, right? I mean, earlier this week, right? But right after that, it actually had a pump, and then now retesting the 200 MA again, which is the 66-cent range, right? Previously, it shows one thing basically, ENA, right? A lot of people later after that trade actually went and searched, there is quite a bit of quite a bit of order queuing for ENA around 60-cent range. So that's like basically a psychological proper entry for a lot of people who want to buy ENA, right? So yeah, also seems like and now you see it's showing the potential of retesting this 61-cent range again, right? If it hold again, right, then then this one will form a very nice panel or flag, or you call it, right? Then chances of it breaking down will be lower. But if this one break down from here, then actually the range allowed for correction will be much more. Okay, so same thing. Let's see what happens after this. Right, because if it just retest the 60-cent range again and bounce, then I will consider it's a really, really bullish token, right? Then I will not challenge to short again, right? But if it does break down, right, then I will see a very nice chance to either start queuing for spot or do a bit of short around this range. Pies today also very strong. Yeah, I was searching pies yesterday. Like why did it move 90%? At least this morning, right? Last night it pumped 90%. I don't really see like much news, right? But this morning I did a bit of scalp here, right? Made how many percent was that? Yeah, but yeah, because I like the risk to reward ratio here, right? About 11-12%, right? But even after the short correction, right, you can see it pump back again. So I'm still trying to figure out what is the reason why it's pumping so good. But yeah, and also the worst part is actually Pizer is one of the few tokens I was waiting because previously it was trading in the range, right? So when towards this area, I was actually queuing and setting alert for a breakout. Yeah, but unfortunately, this one candle pumped like 20%, right? So there's no way, yeah, 20%. So there's no way for me to get in. Yeah, I was actually looking at Hive, like I think last night. Yeah, then but yeah, too bad. But this is the kind of token I was talking about, right? So if suddenly people go and pump this token, right, in this current market, like overall market looks bearish, but if there's a pump, right, usually one candle move already more than what we usually, have the rule set for, like not more than 2% rule. So it's very hard for us to catch or enter anyway, right? So this kind of trade, if you are not a scalper, then just don't care lah. Okay. Pepe. Okay, Pepe. Let's see Pepe. Wait, hold on. Just now my Ina alert ran. Did I? Okay. Okay, Pepe. Okay, personally, I don't trade meme coin, so just, but we can take a look. Oh, Pepe for Ethereum tech meme coin, it doesn't look. I haven't been looking at meme coin for a while already. But honestly, for a coin that's pegged to Ethereum, well, it looks worse than I thought. Like, generally doesn't look very strong, I would say, right? It's like literally bottoming. Wait, let me see. Yeah, okay. I mean, if we are looking for, okay, definitely not a time too long because it doesn't look very strong yet. But if, wow, wow, I mean, this token, I look at this price, right? I don't quite, I'm not very convinced. I mean, it's obviously in a downtrend, right? And then this support range is barely holding, I would say. Nah, I would say, I mean, in Ethereum's ecosystem, I'm pretty sure you can find a better coin to trade lah. Okay. But, and I mean, if we break down, then because if let's say it break down, if Ethereum break down and this one break down, if you want to short, right, then you can see on the left hand side there's a lot of mini little support, right, that can potentially stop reduce your chance of profiting. I don't like Pepe. INA looks like it's forming a lower low. Can we get ready to short? INA, yeah, as I said, actually, I'm eyeing INA for I'm hoping for INA to break below the 61, that means go around 60 range. Then I'll feel more comfortable to short. Yeah, because right now you can see, right, like, and one thing about INA is wait, let me use a different chart. This chart is one thing you see, right? INA is like it's one of those token, right? It has this very I would say like repeated pattern is sometimes, right, when it touch a major support, it seems like a breakdown or breakout, right? But actually what it does is actually consolidating, right? So this one, a few times I got cheated by INA because it's like seems like it has broke down. But actually if you zoom out a bit, you can see this whole range, right, as a consolidation period. And no matter how market is doing, how Ethereum is doing, which usually you see like coins like Arbitrum or Uni, right? Like their movement, even though it's like not exactly the same, but more or less you can expect their movement when Ethereum move in certain direction, right? But INA, right, is like no matter what news or what other token move, right? So for some reason, every time after a period of consolidating, it will just do a pump first before it move anywhere else, right? So for INA wise, like if we break down, I want to see it really break below 60 cents, right? To give me more confidence to short. Right now, if you want to short here, right, then you see, let's measure, right? If let's say you consider this token as a breakdown, right? Right now it's obviously like it previously just earlier today it broke down the 200 MA again, right? But if you consider this, like you expect this candle to be a red candle, that means show a failure in retesting, right? Then by the time when you can enter the trade, right, you need to take profit before it hit this resistance again, right? Then you only have like a less than 4%. But your stop loss, because INA does pump a lot, right? So your stop loss has to be at least be here, which made this trade risk to reward be like 0.6, which personally I don't like that, right? So I'd rather wait for it to break down here, where my potential take profit can be a lot more. Then by then, if 200, hopefully 200 MA move lower, or I have a lower high to make this trade more, make more sense. Right now, I don't like how small the risk to reward ratio is. Yeah, like that only. Right. The moment I see more red than green, I don't like it already. Next. Hi, Coach. Where did I check that go order for INA that around 0.6 that you mentioned earlier? You can just go to the big exchanges like Bybit or Binance. You see the order book. Then you can see a lot of order queue around that range. Andrews, I got do scalping. Yeah, on the days I see a good opportunity like tight, right? But usually I don't do, because if I see a proper setup that I can place a trade and then leave it without monitoring, that will be the best. I definitely more of a day trader. Scalping is really sometimes like I just feel like doing it for no reason. Pice Network, I know Pice Network saw 75% after securing US government partnership. Yeah, but like, a lot of network partner like got partnership, but it doesn't pound as Pice, like, as drastic as Pi. So it's like literally double their net worth. Is it still risky to long Pi now? I think it's risky to do anything on Pi now. You want to long now? It pumped like it pumped like it literally doubled its market yesterday. You long now, you are expecting people not to take profit. Like if you buy, let's say like you are either like you are like a you are inside you know the news, right? Or you are a good trader, right? After buying Pi and then in 8 hours you double your investment. Are you common sense, right? Would you rather hold and hope for it to go 150% or 300%, or will you take profit? You double your profit, right? Yeah, double already. How greedy you think the insider trader or bills are gonna be, right? Exactly, take profit, right? So I would not long here, right? And actually, you see, right now it's actually consolidating with this within this range. And when a price is consolidating, anything could happen, right? Can it go up? Can it go down? Can, right? So don't risk your money. Link. Link. Oh wow, Link. I got a lot of drawing. Let me. Okay, Link's. Link's chart reminds me of Ethereum. Yeah, so same thing. There's a support here, and right now it's at the verge of breaking down or bounce back. Seems like this is a 4-hour chart. 4 hour and 1 hour both looks more bearish than bullish, right? So I'm looking at Ethereum now, but I'm looking at Link now. But tell me what you want to do. If you want to, who is the one asking Link? Oh, Aishan. Long Link. Long now. Long. Based on what? Long. Oh. Okay. Actually, this one pretty much this chart look just very similar to Ethereum law, right? And right now this support line, it doesn't look to like it's holding to me. But of course, this candle haven't closed out, right? It's still got 2 hours. Later it's slightly close green. I don't know, right? But I personally I wouldn't want to long now lah, right? And there's this what is this? Previously you can see actually Link looks more bearish than Ethereum, right? Because both are showing previously both are moving on an uptrend. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so roughly previously it was moving about an uptrend, but actually it has already broken down, right? And right now you can see the highs are getting lower, right? This seems to me more like after this three wave of going up, it's actually showing a downward movement. So I personally don't feel like longing it, right? If it goes below, there's the next support is here, right? then this whole room, this whole area will have to be something your stop loss have to be able to survive, right? Why take such a risk? Unless they break, if bounce from here, I also don't want to long here, right? Because there's a, let's say if we bounce here, right, then your entry will be somewhere within this area, right? Then how to take profit? Immediately there's a resistance here. You see this? Right? So even if it doesn't break down, right? If let's say it close a green candle, it will take some room, right? Then you have about 3%. Then your stop loss at least here, right? Then this trade doesn't make much sense, right? So two scenarios. Even if it does bounce back up, I also wouldn't want to long until it break above this trend line, like that, right? That means I want to see it goes above, close above this trend line, and also this resistance here. This resist. I rather long from this range here up. Okay, but if it break down, then I can consider shorting, but need to see my risk to reward ratio good or not. Because if let's say it close here, my stop loss put above the trend line and previous high. Okay lah, still not 1-to-1, right? Like 0.6. I mean, y'all know lah. I do AMA many times. For me, risk to reward less than 1, I don't like to take lah. Okay. Okay, maybe better short pies. Pies. Just the thing is, you don't see pies like pump so much, sure go down. But if you look at smaller time frame, right? If you actually trade pies, right, you will know for the past few minutes, the price movement very drastic one. So you can like literally, so for example, if you were to short, right, your stop loss has to be more than 10%. That means you can only use maximum 5x leverage. Otherwise, the price, you don't see the red candle like that. There's a wick on top. You think it's go by minute one. It could be this second is here, next second it go back up already. So for a stop loss to survive such a volatile coin, at least for today, right, the price movement is very, very volatile. So if you were to short, your stop loss has to be a lot, right? Then actually it doesn't make much sense. Unless like sometimes when you see a good entry, you can see like when I enter the trade at the time, right? The risk to reward ratio is 1.5, then okay lah. That's why I took the risk, right? But when the price already moved a lot and then risk to reward anytime is less than 1, don't bother. Okay. You might still wait for this one. You see this one is a high and then high, right? If it break below this range, which will be a double top, right? Then some more this is obviously a support line, right? By then, you can consider, because that means the pump really finished already. Okay. Do I trade new launched coin like Palm or XPL? No, I don't. Have I tried leaving a trade open on Bitfun for more than 10 days? No, I don't. Like I'm a day trader. Most of the time, for me, I have a rule. If let's say I enter a trade, the trade doesn't, the coin suddenly, the moment I enter, straight away went into a Zen mode. That means it stopped moving. Every day up 0.3%, down 0.5%, right? If that happened, after 3 days, I will cut the trade. This is a rule I set for myself since very early days, even before I start trading on Bitfun. So personally, I don't hold that trade that long. Sean, Ishan, bullish sentiment GRB buying. You mean Solana or Pi? John, market is crazy this week. Actually, market is not crazy this week. It's just everybody is like, it's just a lot of people are lost, right? Everybody, especially retail investor, they don't dare to enter. Everybody is waiting. That's why you see it's not crazy. Actually, the movement is very small. We don't talk about price this kind, right? But generally, you see most of the token every day up, down, less than 5%. It's not crazy. It's just indecisive. Like when market is ranging and yet the range is very small, right? If you are very new to trading, I would suggest you to just wait up, because no point you run into market, aim for like 1-2% profit, then your risk is actually more than that. And then if you are kind of a bit greedy, aiming still for like 3-5% profit, right? Then most likely the token just won't move as much until hitting your profit, right? Then your waiting time is relatively long. MKR short. MKR. MKR. Oh, it just put down. Okay. Okay, just now this candle considered a breakdown. All right, this pattern, I'll consider this like a cup handle. Yeah. So, I mean, if you just now you caught it at 8 o'clock, I think when it closed at 9 o'clock, then that's a breakdown trade. But right now, it already moved a bit, and then this one is a green candle. All right, so if now you chase, let's see how many percent is it. If you chase now, okay lah, less than 1%. So if you are the kind who follow Bernard's rule of less than 2% can enter, then still okay. If not, because right now you see the volume is higher than usual, right? Not as high as this kind, right? So if you want to enter now, then next, just remember, as I just said, because this week the market won't be it won't show a lot of movement, right? So remember to be less greedy with taking profit. So need to be like that. But yeah, you see a support line here. So actually just now you already touched the first TP. But if we break below or close below, ideally if we want to enter here then your stop loss at least here, right? Or if you want to be safer, put above 200 MA, it will be here, about 4%, right? Then if you are greedy or you are confident, you put above this range over here, then that's not a lot. All right, about 1-to-1. But because this one already sort of like, I mean, if I short here, then this will be my first TP to at least move my stop loss, which it just hit. So in a way, if you were to enter now, you had to wait for it to break below here. Then it kind of lowered the risk to reward ratio. So see whether you like this kind of setup or not. But at least this one is a clearer breakdown compared to other tokens. Will I be buying WLFI? Honestly, I'm not a fan of that fella. So personally, I prefer to buy token with like actual, something more than just hype. But I know World Finance actually got investment and things lah. But personally, I prefer project that belongs to a actual narrative that has utility rather than just because it's backed by, But I mean, of course, but World Financial, the performance or should I say investment has been good recently, right? I mean, this cycle like this, right? So if later it proves that it really, shows potential of giving high returns, then maybe. All right, but I mean, just to share, I also don't buy Trump coin. So yeah. Coach, for my breakout strategy on stochastic RSI perspective, is it if only the blue line is above 50 while the orange line is below 50, will I proceed to trade? For breakout, actually, we prefer to have it both above like 80 range. That means they are oversold. Because, the idea of breaking out, right, is no matter originally where the price is, right, people just keep on buying and buying and pump the price up. That's the whole point of breaking out, right? So if it's like in the 50 range, right, then if, for example, like this, right, when you buy up, if when they reach the oversold, overbought area, right, the buying volume is not picked up, right, then there could be the chance that that's the tip. It will not break above, right? Breakout, the idea is for it to already hit the resistance and yet pump past it, right? So, and also if let's say both are like that, right? It's like that means like what you say, right? The blue line is almost above 50, orange below, then you see the chance of it continue pumping, not say 0%, but not as high, right? TTKV for INA, there's a red candle that closed below the support but goes back up. So in order for you to decide to short, I will wait for red candle to close below the same support line. Yeah, INA, I said a few times, I rather wait for it to break below the 60 range because I mean, if you all see my trick call, I got cheated by this breakdown once already, right? So lesson learned, I rather wait for it to close below, like here. Okay. As for so many, I didn't do the mining method that Bernard taught. No, I don't. I have my actual funds in Binance trading on spot. Like personally, for my accounts, I mean, I do enjoy trading and I'm quite an active day trader, right? So for me, every Bitfun account, I usually all the accounts I have running trades in them, like day trading position in it. So I don't really do the mining method, right? Because to me, if I were to make 10-20% profit, I would rather just park them on the spot. Okay. Now what that? Oh, LPT. Ooh, LPT. Oh, LPT seems I broke down right here. Yeah, nice. This one is okay. If I don't, yeah, I mean, yeah, even on bigger time frame, it broke down this major support, right? See, right, and it actually did a retest earlier here. It broke down and then retest, and here. Short now, I would say a bit late, but I see if let's say you short after this can still around here, then your stop loss should be at least above the 50 EMA, right? Then you need to take profit before the 200 MA. Wow, this risk to reward is a bit pathetic. Unless you want to take the risk to put this above the don't put at least here, right? Then you only because it's hitting 200 MA soon, and if you look to the past, you see there's a support here, right here, right? So you have to take profit at least here, which is about 2.6%. the entry point still okay because previously this candle closed bearish engulfing. For my habit of entering below this low is 7.07. So I enter 7.06 is okay, right? I just don't like the next support line being so close. That means my profit only 2.5%. Don't like it. I mean, but this chart looks good. It's a very clear breakdown and retest. Just only if the 200 MA a bit further, that means I don't see this, then it will be better. But this chart look good, right? So you enter now. I mean, it depends on what kind of expectation you have in this trade. Like say you expect it to, I mean, of course, this being your first potential take profit, right? If I were to enter this trade, once it hit here, I'll move my stop loss down. Then if I want, I can leave some position running, see whether it break below the 200 MA and touch this support now, right? Then it will be much nicer, right? But until then, as I don't know, right, this doesn't make sense because risk to reward 0.39. But if I enter with the assumption or expectation of it going further down, then okay. Right, so it depends on how do you judge the potential of this trade. BTC cross 109. Oh, is it? It's dropping, is it? Oh, okay, good. Nice. Yeah, but I haven't closed. It's crossing, right? But what if later become like that? Still got 1 hour 45 minutes. Too early to say, right? But if this one closed below, then over the weekend, because over the weekend usually we don't see much strong buying volume. At least institutions are not there, right? Then I expect it to slip off slowly over the weekend. Then Monday, either midnight or morning when we open, right? Then a lot of coins, you'll see a very nice short setup, right? But if this one later, give a week and then show some small little green candle, then that will be annoying. Right? Then it will maybe do another small little pullback again and then go down. Right? So this candle actually matters a lot. Let's see. Because you see, if it go down but keep doing this, then in between we got nothing. There's nothing we can do. Right? Like that. Right? It will be more ideal if we can see a direct pullback like that. Okay, see how lah. Okay, let's see which scenario happens when the candle closes. Okay, 1 hour, did it close? No, 1 hour didn't really close. You see, the candle closed just now, didn't close below. You see, exactly like this one, right? It actually is only weak, right? So this candle matters. So 11 o'clock, if we close here, that means below this entire range, then I'll be happier. Okay, then that's the time when you go look around for a short setup. Okay, because this candle didn't really close. Okay. It's annoying this way when short it goes up, when long it goes down. Yeah, exactly, because it's consolidating, like everyone also don't know, cannot decide what to do, right? Actually, Wednesday it was more like Wednesday is going down. Thursday it was going down, but I think a lot of people are waiting for Nvidia's earning report. So also nobody really short. Also nobody really buy, right? Then today, this morning, Nvidia's report also didn't pull the market up. That's why you see it's like mini corrections, like 1 to 2% pulling back. But yeah, But overall, you can see that most of the token are actually slowly slipping, right, lower and lower, right, apart except for Ethereum. And even Ethereum are actually showing the first lower low in weeks, right? So, yeah, if Ethereum later also close red, and Bitcoin also close red, then my expectation for the next few weeks will be more bearish. Even Ethereum Ethereum show more bearishness than Bitcoin. You see? At least this one is a proper bearish candle. So follow back Bernard's teaching where at least both Bernard's breakout is above 50. Okay. 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 I mean, personally, I prefer the stochastic to be above lah. But if Bernard teaching is both above 50, then you follow lah. Is it a good time to spot instead? Okay, to spot, first of all, decide which token you want to buy spot on, right? Then you actually now is a good time to plan your entry for your spot position already, right? Using Ethereum as example, right? If it come down, which is happening, hopefully it continues, right? Then you need to plan where's your entry for your support for your buy orders, right? If we break down further, then another support here, right? So you need to set what are the potential entry point. Like for example, Solana, right? If you expect this breakdown, after this breakdown, if let's say Monday onwards, if there's another pullback, then most likely Solana also, no matter how many people buying, the price will still move accordingly, right? Then you need to be ready to decide where you want to buy the coin. Right, so this weekend, if the market is not, as I said, this week, I would suggest if you are not a very, very, very experienced trader, myself, stay out of the market. And while staying out of the market, not trading, right? Now, this weekend will be a good time for you to plan every entry point for every token you want to buy in. Either that or you simply watch Bernard's video. I think he already shared a few tokens, right? Then next Tuesday, he's going to share for another few more. All right. Ina link and something, right? Either you do the homework yourself or you can do the homework yourself this weekend. Then Tuesday, you can cross compare with Bernard's entry point, right? Then you can correct, you can adjust accordingly. With the TRX is doing okay. I just say, right, TRX is one of the token I only trade on spot. I only buy on spot. I don't trade on futures, right? Because same reason as Solana, because of the week I don't like. But so far, Tron is one of the few token that has slowly but steadily going up, right? You see, all this while the uptrend was holding well, and only just this week it start to have a bit of correction, right? So for TRX, right, then you can see right now obviously it's retesting this support line. If it break down over the weekend, right, then the next support area will be around here, about 32 cents ish, right? But TRX generally, this token in terms of the community, the team, right, the backers, everything, right, they are actually really holding this project well, right? So far, I don't see, the risk of, you all know TRX background lah. So basically, in terms of hype, community, engagement and funding and marketing, right? They are doing well, right? But you know the risk about it also, right? But at least for now, if you personally, I do see TRX having the potential to grow higher. So that's why it's one of the token I actually trade quite trade, right? That means I will buy on spot, but I'll take profit accordingly, right? So if you are like me, then yeah, while it's pullback, you can take a good opportunity to enter, right? So that's why I say this weekend actually is a good chance for you to really go through your portfolio and plan your entry already. Okay. Can you show us my weekly or daily routine and how I trade? Okay, this one I suggest you to watch the recording on 13th of May, right? Also an AMA, right? That one I actually did an entire me screening routine, right? Like it took me about 40 minutes because I really go through step by step, right? That every time when people ask me, I would suggest you to look at because for that particular because I show how I trade using Bitfun token, so there I didn't use screener. So literally I do manual filtering, right? So yeah, if you are interested, can watch that. Okay. Because when you do it yourself, you usually have to keep waiting and waiting for the setup. Then either have to go out or go sleep. Then no chance to enter already. It's quite annoying. Yeah, so it's important to first of all short list, right? For me, the key thing is first of all short list. So don't monitor too many tokens. I try to keep it like 3 to 5 tokens. And because I don't monitor or wait for so many, right? I can afford to have 2 or 3 alerts set for each token, right? For example, if I'm waiting for a breakup, I can not only put an alert on the price movement, I can only put an alert on the stochastic RSI or breaking certain support resistance or trend line, right? So sometimes one token I can set 2 to 3 alert. So like that, like usually right out of the 3 or 5 tokens with so many alerts set, I can usually I can manage to get into a trade within a small time frame, like half an hour or 1 hour. Brian, is it a good time to buy SUI? SUI, I think I entered my first tranche already. Where is it now? Sorry, pardon my chat, because SUI is one of token personally I keep it in my portfolio lah. So I need so I have more drawings here. Yeah, so I already entered my first tranche in around the 2.5 range. Sorry, 3.5 range. All right. Then my next entry, right, is around 2.36, around this range. Right. That's the order I already have. All right. So if SUI were to pull back, then either around 2.86 range or 2.36 range, right? Then I will continue to buy. Okay. So SUI personally, I mean, depends if you expect, as I said, honestly, personally, I see the market moving towards a further pullback. That means a deeper correction. Then, also if you want to wait for it to reach at least here, then you can start to either set alert or start to put limit order to queue already. There's a disclaimer rolling here, not financial advice. Yeah. So for SUI personally, I think I have 1, 2, 3 order queuing. This one I think already filled, right? But if let's say that's why also for me, SUI is already something I started buying, right? But if you ask me, is it a good time to buy for yourself? Then I would suggest you still draw your chart and then decide what is the price point you want to get in, right? Because if let's say you consider if you buy at 3.5, right? Then you sell it off at $4.25, or you expect it to go $5, right? You see whether you like the risk to reward ratio or not. Yeah, to me, 20% is good enough, right? But if you prefer to have a better, deeper pullback, that means get in here, then obviously, then your profit margin will be more lah. Repeat the dates, please. What date? Oh, the recording date. 13th of May, I think. Wait, let me see. Can I type? Oh, I can't type in this chat. Oh, wait. Wait, this is also a public live. Wait, let me see. I get the link. Are you all inside our Discord channel?
Fang Ying is a mixture of maybe public and some of our students. So you just let me know what link you want me to send, and I can assist you with it.
No worries. For people who are inside the CRP community, I'm pretty sure you all have the access to the Discord. Oh, AMA recording is part under which channel? Yeah, I'm looking at Discord. Give me a second, guys.
Hold on. You mean the AMA recordings like this one?
Yeah.
You can just go to our YouTube channel actually.
Yeah. I can't remember that time I did YouTube or the internal one. I remember seeing the Discord recording. But wait, but anyway, for the guys, some of you are not elite also, right? Okay, let me think about it. Anyway, y'all just continue typing the questions because I don't see any questions queuing anyway. Let me search for my recording. Okay, anyway, let me see. Am I having... Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, it's 13 May. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 13 May. Wait, May was 2. Is that... sorry. Sorry. If you see Jay's face, then definitely that's not mine. I'm so sorry. What channel is it? Gee. Oh, sorry. 13 June. 13 June. Sorry, guys. 13 June. Okay, I found the date. Yeah. So if you're inside the CRP, just go for the AMA recording, then 13 June. I think I spent like a whole 45-minute go through from, like literally go through the whole 60 over tokens. Like I filter from 60 to 10 to 3 to 5 to 3, and then how to set alert. Hope that helps, right? Yes, thanks, Brian. Yes, AMA with Coach Fang Ying, 13 June. Thank you. Is my Fibo setting at default? Yeah, I didn't change. Default. Yep. It's because like weekly is basically what I go through with you guys at the beginning, right? I just go through to know better about the general market settlement. But of course, right, the Monday one additional thing I will do is to go through what are the events this week have, right? So that I can avoid trading in case there's volatility, right? But in terms of trading routine, right, I suggest to watch the recording because it's really long. And because one thing is that day the market was moving, I'll say in a normal range, right? So it's very easy to see and spot the trade because your drawing and the setup looks valid. Like today, if you want me to go through, right, I would say most of the time, right, I can't, because sometimes it's like in that video, right, that time, how I can manage to filter is because, like, for example, out of 10 potential setup, right, I still have the luxury to filter out the 3 to 5 that I think have the higher chance to give me an entry immediately or not long later. Because for tonight, right, even if I were to, just now I already roughly know, right, whatever setup I need to wait, right, I can only set alert. And as I said, I need to wait for either it close below or go down, right? So when you need to set alert for 2 direction, then it doesn't give a good idea lah. I like those morning, right, when you open, like for example, okay, based on today's setup, I think today is it's a like a done. It's a chance of short. It's a day for shorting. Then with that idea in mind, I can happily go in and look for 3 to 5 tokens I can short. And then I just need to set alert accordingly. Like now, every token just I go through, right, it gives me the possibility of both ways. And in fact, I can't do anything until Bitcoin or Ethereum close below, right? So this is not a good day to showcase. Yeah, if this is a day, like I say, right, if you're new, I don't even suggest you to trade. Then, then all you can learn is, okay, market takes patience. I need to wait and see. Oh, thanks, Brian. So recording is on 13th of June, but it's posted out on 17th of June. Okay, thanks. Okay. Let's see, just now we were looking at you see, Solana just now it was showing a red candle, but now you see, it's actually going back up and showing a doji. So until this candle close, you really don't know what will happen. Pi. Okay, Pi, it closed a bearish engulfing. So if it continue to go down, then this double top most likely will be valid. Right, but if okay, Ethereum later, actually 25 minutes, if this one really close, right, because technically if you see here, right, because of the previous week, right, so the support, and there's a chance even this range, which is 4313, is still a support line. So 25 minutes, if this candle close red, then just now a lot of short setup we were looking at, then we can consider already, not this one. And you know, if Ethereum pull back, then Arbitrum, right, Uni, all the related tokens, you can see a higher chance of continue going down. Right, for example, Arbitrum, right? Okay, this one, ignore. Okay, but let's say if later Ethereum close below, then there's a chance of this Arbitrum might close below this support line, right? Then there's a chance to short around this range from here to here. We just need to set an alert here. Okay, then link. Okay, link, I'm expecting 2 scenario. One is straight away go down. Another one is bounce, because here, right? So right now seems like continuing, right? So if it continues from this bearish engulfing, then it's a very nice short setup also. Here, here. Right. So you can see actually honestly, these few tokens, right, for past week, partly because I don't see a lot of very solid setup, right? But honestly, for the past, I would say the whole August, right, this few token hasn't changed in my watch list. Every day I just look through this few, right? Because like apart from this few, first of all, the trading activities is high in this field, and their chart more or less look the same, right? So you're basically just expecting the setup to be done here. But right now, is it going back up? Yeah, you see? So until it closed, right, with the body below this line, I honestly don't dare to short so soon. Right, you see? Like those candles, right, very quickly recover to a green candle already. Even though just now they all seems like they are breaking down. Right, so really guys, no rush. Okay, let's wait for candle close for the right setup. TTKV, do I prepare coins to hedge in case current trade go against you? Usually I don't hedge, but if let's say, sometimes, if let's say, if I'm trading a breakout trade, right? For example, this one. For example, if I take this as a breakdown, but later on, right, immediately recover already, right? Then if I'm monitoring the trade, there's a chance I might sometimes, if I see a completely shift of market direction, or at least in this particular token, I might just cut this trade earlier and then re-enter as the opposite direction. But I usually don't hedge, especially in the same account. Okay. If nothing changed that much, usually I will just let the trade play out. Or even if I were to hedge, I will open a different trade in different account. That means, for example, I have this account opening a short, right? But later on, I see market pumping, right? I just simply use another account to do along, right? But within the same trade, within the same day, I don't like to complicate things, right? If I lose one trade, I'll stop. That's it, right? Rather than, if let's say you hedge or sometimes you cut loss early and enter the opposite direction and then it change again, right? Then you have 2 losses in a row. Even though you cut loss earlier, but it kind of mess up my mathematics for the daily maximum drawdown. Do I usually look at 1 or 4 hour? For market sentiment, I usually look at 4 hours. Then trade wise, I will look for entry on 1 hour. Ash, when I look for directions to trade, which of the following do you refer? All 4 of those. Bitcoin dominance, USD dominance, total trade, and I also look at Ethereum. Because this month, I would say, after the major take profit on Bitcoin, right? Actually, I'm focusing on Ethereum and Ethereum's ecosystem to trade only, right? So I will definitely look at Ethereum. So this 4 you mentioned plus Ethereum. Oh, okay. The comment box. Am I hand or there's no more question coming? Let's see. We still got 20 minutes till 11. So if you all have questions, just continue typing. If not, then we can call it a day. And then remember to set alert at 11 o'clock or 10:55 to come back, look at the chart, see how it is going. That's Bitcoin. Okay, same here. What is you see, like it gets annoying, right? Like this is why we always emphasis on waiting for candle to close, right? One moment it looks very, very bearish, and then one moment it looks like a not going anywhere, and then like it's just bearish incoming, doji, hammer, back, piercing, you know. You really don't know until the last minute. So if there is one of the four charts that doesn't align or is conflicting, then how? Usually it doesn't conflict, right? So for example, if general market is going up, right, USDT dominance will go down. That's first thing first, right? If let's say you see USDT going up, right, generally you don't expect anything else to go down. You don't expect any token to go up, right? Then if BTC dominance and BTC price wise, I think we explained this many times, is that in the bull market when the money rotating, like not say entering the altcoin, but like in the transition period, right? You don't see Bitcoin move price dropping. You are only seeing Bitcoin dominance going down, right? So as long as you know how to interpret, how to analyze that data, right? I don't really see I don't have experience seeing them conflicting with each other, right? Because money has to go somewhere, right? The money either rotate in the market or leave the market, right? There's no other way. So either people are buying or people are selling. It's just a matter of what they are buying. So USDT just simply tell you people are buying or selling. And then after knowing that, then you go to different tokens dominance to see where the token is going. If people are selling, what they are selling. If they are buying, what they are buying. Or do you experience like the charts not aligned, like in any day? Then maybe you can have a look. Yeah. Sometimes you find that looking at all four charts can get confusing or lead to analysis paralysis. Do you have an example, like any date or time you remember that they looked confusing or they are not aligned? That means, for example, you see USDT dropping, and yet you see now none of the tokens are pumping, even be it Total Tree or Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Because then you don't know where the money go. Sure, like I just said, right? So basically, first you see USDT, right? Because if USDT generally means you take it as a stable coin, right? So if USDT going up, right, chances of any coin going up is very, very, very mild, right? Because generally people are selling their whatever tokens in exchange for USDT, right? Then if have this idea in mind, then now you see, for example, USDT is pumping, right? Then you expect actually generate the entire market, right? Be it big cap, small cap, be it whatever, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, you expect them to go down, right? Which align with this chart, isn't it? Right. So you see Bitcoin going down, Ethereum going down, Total Tree going down. Right. This is the first, the biggest like funnel or distribution of funds in the market. Right. Then of course within this, right, within this crypto market, then you need to see, right, which one is going down more, which one is going down less, right? Then you see in current market situation, if people are selling USDT, selling their token for USDT, what they are selling, Ethereum or other altcoins or Bitcoin, right? So for example, you see now actually Ethereum is dropping a bit more, right? And which align because few weeks back, people are buying Ethereum, right? You can always expect people to take profit. No lah, I just say, right, you look at USDT to know money coming in or out. Then you need to look at the individual sector to decide you long or short which token, right? Direction-wise, yes lah, generally, right? As long as there's no other, like events that might suddenly change it. But generally, if today is like a peaceful day without any events happening, right, then people are taking profits, slowly selling off their token, then obviously you are looking for short, right? If people are buying all the tokens with USDT, then you are expecting for long. But apart from that, you look at the dominance to see which are the tokens you buy or short with. Did I miss some question on top? If Bitcoin price goes, Bitcoin dominance goes down, what does it mean? You mean Bitcoin goes up or down? Would I consider EMA as a support resistance on those four charts when determining the direction? Actually, for dominance, right, I mean, it's actually pretty clear the support resistance, like the range, right? You can see them from afar because, right, it's like very clearly around there, right? EMAs, of course, yeah, but if you draw it, it's also around there. Right, so generally you are looking for around a range of percentage you think there are major support resistance can already. Right. EMAs, I don't look at EMAs that much for the for the dominance chart. Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes down. Actually, this is in a bull market, right? The one of the signs that altcoin season coming is dominance of Bitcoin percentage going down, and at the same time, Bitcoin price maintain or goes up, because this simply means people start to like not only Bitcoin price holding, right? People somehow already take enough profit from Bitcoin and then start to buy, because Bitcoin dominance, right, go down on two scenarios. One is people sell off their Bitcoin, right, in cash to buy, right? There also another scenario is people actually pouring more cash, right, fiat money into the market, into exchanges to buy stable coin like USDT, then to buy more altcoin, right? So that in that way, right, when that happens, because of people buy altcoin but they didn't sell Bitcoin, right? They bought it with like stable coin, right? But in general market, like last time, for example, in the market there's 50 trillion, Bitcoin take 50%, right? So if people sell off, like for example, half. Last time we have 20 trillion Bitcoin, 25 trillion in Bitcoin, 25 trillion in altcoin, right? Then if people, without investing more money, right? Then if they sell off, let's say 10% of Bitcoin, right, to buy altcoin, right? That's one scenario, Bitcoin dominance will go down. Yeah. Then there's another scenario where people without selling Bitcoin, but they still want to buy more altcoin, right? Which is what usually happen with institution trader. Like retail trader will usually will sell off their position and buy others because they always go after more return, right? But let's say institution, for ETF holders, they need to hold certain amount of Bitcoin. They cannot sell off all, right? Then in order to buy more altcoin, they need to actually throw in more money, right? So last time, out of 50 trillion in the market, 25, right? But what if people simply buy, like invest 10 trillion more, like worth or USDT of altcoin, right? Then what happened is 25 trillion in Bitcoin, then 35 trillion in altcoin. Then that also will dilute and dominance of the Bitcoin percentage, isn't it? Right? Then Bitcoin dominance will also go down. Actually, this is the kind of Bitcoin dominance percentage going down kind of scenario we want to see, because this means investors' confidence in altcoin or in general the crypto market actually coming back. They are pumping in more money, right? If not, it's just within this crypto market, money is just rotating, but there isn't more money coming in, right? So BTC dominance goes down in two scenarios, but what we want to see is dominance percentage go down by having more funds coming into the market. Does it make sense? So if you look at basically, if you look at the entire crypto market, yeah. So if let's say you look at the entire market, right? If like instead of, right now, for example, you see market cap, if let's say we look at the entire crypto market, right? Last time at 4 points, there's 4 trillion money inside, right? Then actually that means there are more investors with cash inside. So actually if you look at now 3.77, right, that means people actually after taking profit, right, they didn't keep all the money in the market. They actually withdraw some. So in overall, the money in the crypto space is actually lower. So, right, and now, like when you talk about Bitcoin dominance being 58%, right? We are talking about half of 3.77, right? But later on, right, imagine if if the total market go back to 4 trillion, right? Then by then, if from 3.77 to 4.2, that means 0.5 trillion of money, right, come from stable coin, right, come from fiat money, right? Then will Bitcoin dominance drop? It will, right? But does it mean that the market is going down? No way, right? People simply pouring more money, so everything will still go up. This part should understand, right? I mean, it's pretty much a common sense thing, right? The only way, I mean, like you all know, crypto space is a zero-sum game, right? So for people who buy and hold or long to make money, right? There need to be exit liquidity, and the money has to come from somewhere, right? If we just rotate within the market, right, then the amount of profit we can make is just within this market cap. Yeah, so TTKV, does it explain why Bitcoin price can still go up even if Bitcoin dominance goes down? Right? Because people can simply pour in another 500 million to buy Bitcoin, and then another 500 million to buy other coins. Right? So that way Bitcoin still goes up, but the dominance percentage drops. Okay. Desmond, is stock and crypto correlated? For example, today's stock market is down, crypto market is down as well. Yeah, I mean, actually all the trading assets like more or less are related. That's why when major like stock earning report comes, we also try to avoid. Like for example, I mentioned earlier, right? Thursday, like last night, I was waiting for Nvidia's report. Right. And last round, when Nvidia's report was very good, earning report was very good, the whole AI sector actually fly quite a lot, like 7%. Right. But this time around, even though the report is relatively okay, but it didn't pump as much. The AI sector didn't move much. Right. But generally, like, and you see one of the time frame that crypto market is more active, right, with higher volume, right, is actually when the US stock market opened, which is like 9:30 or 10:30, right? So yeah, I mean all the financial like trading assets more or less are correlated. Crypto are related literally to everything, news, Fed, like informations or stocks or wars, right? Crypto literally being one of the volatile assets, right, can be affected with many things. So if new funds are coming in, we should see USDT increase first and BTC dominance decrease. No, I mean, if you will see the actual market cap, which is the money value increase, but USDT percentage, if people pump in the money is immediately to buy crypto, then you won't see USDT increase. Like the dominance, okay, maybe you also like not the whole world will do the transferring of fiat and exchange and then buy at the same time, right? So I'm just saying that when people finish buying after they transferring more fund, right, it will dilute the percentage. This part understand? Okay. All right. What other companies do you look at for earnings besides Nvidia? Depends, right? Let's say if you are looking for, depends on what sector you are looking for, right? For example, AI sector, that is like very tightly tied to Nvidia. And not every stock, even from the same sector, might affect the sector's movement as much, right? But Nvidia, last time we also didn't expect a chip company can affect AI that much. But when you're free, you can go search from last earning report, last quarter, right? The time AI sector that night really pumped a lot, right? So I think sometimes it just like, also depends on when the crypto market need a catalyst, right? For example, like this week, other than earlier this week, there was a report of, is that CPI or is that last week, right? So if this week, right, got nothing else to, push the market, then any company's report can change, right? Like sometimes the entire market, like for example, QQQ, the tech sector goes up, right? AI also might pump, right? Then sometimes SPY, the entire market going up, right? Then our crypto market also does well, right? So it depends on what sector you are looking at, then you can search for any related company or sector of stock that can be related. Well, yeah, last Saturday, our Saturday morning, is it? Yeah, I know last week was like, it's like Monday or Tuesday up, then Thursday or Friday down kind of thing. So yeah. how would I explain what is a reason altcoin price follow Bitcoin price? It's like Bitcoin after all is like literally the big brother of the market, right? If Bitcoin price crash, right, then it will create a lot of fear in the market. First thing first, right? Then whenever Bitcoin crash, right, who dare to hold altcoins, right? Usually people, especially like futures trader, will be busy taking profit, right? And also over the time, like not say new tokens, but like those old tokens, especially like from last 1 or 2 cycles, right? Their price movement is pretty much sync with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin in a way also pretty much linked to the entire basically reflect the entire market, right? That's why I said if it's a bull market, right, even if Bitcoin's dominance percentage drop, we don't want to see Bitcoin price goes down, right? Because it will bring down every other coin. What other sectors do I look at besides AI? For me personally, this year I'm focusing on 3 sectors. Layer 1, especially new layer 1s like Sui, Aptos, and then what else? Yeah, let me DEXs, right? Like new DEXs like Hyperliquid, then the main DEX of each like main chain, like for example Jupiter, Uni, right? Then AI. Like right now for this end of the year, I'm only focusing on these 3 sectors: layer 1, DEX, and AI. I'm simplifying, minimizing my portfolio. Yeah, Friday morning. Okay. No problem. Okay. Oh, it's 11 already. Wow, time flies. Okay. Do you have any more questions? And guys, if you have a question, start typing earlier, right? Because I don't know how long is the lag. Like usually after I ask, then I thought no more question, right? Then suddenly I see a few messages pop out. No lag for you. Okay. But I think it's a comment. Like I don't see your comments immediately one. Okay. All right. Then okay, Mali, are you there?
Yes, Fang Ying.
Okay, let's wait. Oh, wait, there's still question. Wait. Eileen, do I think AI sectors like FET, NEO, etc. will do well? I do think AI sector is gonna do well in this sector, which is why I put it as one of my key sectors like in my portfolio. For breakout trade, why suggest RSI in 1 hour to be at least above? Just now another person asked. Okay, I don't know like where this above 50 come from. For me, I always look for RSI to be on top. That means above 80. I don't know where this above 50 thing come from. I don't. Yeah, I prefer a higher RSI. Doesn't matter which time frame. Oh wait, it's time is 11, right? Okay, let's see. How is the Oh, okay, it close below. Okay, good. So later on after this, I might be looking for those short setup I mentioned just now, like uni. What else? Okay, Panther. Just what did I mention? Was that? What was that? Okay, Pi's not yet. Okay, Ina not yet. After 0.6. Okay, Solana. Okay, Solana seems like holding above the support, holding on the support line. Okay, so but definitely not right. This is definitely not a place for you to enter for long now lah. Okay, so either I mean, if you want to long, this has to be a bullish one. Okay, if not, if it close below, then I wouldn't long. And any other token we go through just now? Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid got rejected. So let's see if this. Okay, let's see if this one goes back up. If not, there's a chance to short also. Okay. Right. Wait, one last. Oops. How many trades do I take in a day? I take 1 trade per account. So 2 to 3 trades a day. Yeah, sometimes they happen at the same time. If let's say the setup, like let's say I see maybe 2 to 3 coins having the similar setup, right? Then I will enter different trade on different account. Then sometimes if I take one first, right? Then later when it close, if I have the time, let's say during lunch, I look through again. Then if I see another trade, then I'll enter. So sometimes like 1 round, sometimes 2 rounds, sometimes 1 account, sometimes multiple account. There's no fixed number, but at least 1 trade a day, I would say. Then on certain days, like sometimes, if let's say first 2 weeks of the month, I actually did okay. Then towards end of the month, I'll let off a little bit. Sometimes I don't trade already because I'm already happy with the profit. Richard is curious, do I find trade on your phone or do you carry a tablet or laptop around to find trade? I prefer to find or say filter the trade on my laptop. Because if let's say I set alert already and I already leave my house, I don't mind tracking or following the trade on my phone because the chart I did my drawing and alert setup on laptop. So to me, phone is just a way for me to receive my alert more timely. And sometimes I mean I don't stay at home all the time. So yeah, I do use phone to track. Because it's hard to find trade on during office hour. Yeah, that's why morning wake up earlier to find the setup first. It just like during office hour, you just wait for the trade to get mature or get ready, right? Especially if you're working, it's very hard to find trade during working hours lah. Okay, I tried before. It's just not so comfortable. So when I already in profit for that account on that day, then you don't trade already. Okay, if let's say I account A, first trade in the morning, I put at 7 o'clock, then 11 o'clock, it already closed with profit. then there are high chance 12 o'clock during lunch I will take a look. If I can find another trade, I'll place again. Right? But if lunch that time I go out for lunch, then I don't have time to, or I'm not with my laptop, then for me it's enough for the day, then I won't bother. So all depends. For me, I'm quite like free and easy. I don't really force myself to trade non-stop. And anyway, it's not healthy mentally also. If after plotting my trade on laptop and the alert goes off when you are outside, yes, I enter my trade on my phone because I like cause usually I don't move anywhere else like far, right? So most of the time, even if I'm out, right, like when I meet my friend or meet people for coaching course, I'm usually just like always like at somewhere very near my house, like literally downstairs across the street. So I can enter the trade on my phone, put the stop loss and everything. Right. Later on, if it comes into profit and I need to move my stop loss, I can easily go back to my house and do that. Right. And if I'm going out for coaching call, I bring my tablet. So either way I can do it. Unless let's say I'm going out for go gym, all right, or go play sports with my friend where I know I won't be checking phone nor my laptop, then I won't do that, right? So depends. If I know the day's activity is not suitable for trading, then I will not do like stupid things. I mean, you can look at charts, like, I mean, if your alert rings, you obviously you need to click into your trading view, right? You at least need to see which alert got trigger and which direction and what happened. And also, if let's say I have an alert for 2 tokens, no way if one just by having the alert immediately I remember what's my entry price, what's my stop loss, and what's my TP points, right? Then obviously I will still click into trading view and have one last look and check the numbers, right? No, my memory not so good. I don't need to check the chart. For inexperienced trader, is it safe to say to find trades to enter somewhere near 200 MA for a better risk to reward ratio? Generally, yes, but then you need to make sure you judge the right direction, right? Because like you see, certain tokens when it comes to 200 MA, right, it seems like you need to judge honestly, like, for example, long or short, both if you enter at a major support resistance, definitely you can maximize your risk to reward ratio, right? But make sure you judge correctly whether to short or long. Okay. But of course, because if let's say you're talking about, for example, you see a bounce on 200 MA as a strong support, then your stop loss obviously won't be too far. So yeah, ideally that's the best place to enter because your risk to reward ratio is very like to your advantage, right? Worst come to worst, if it goes south, your loss won't be as huge, right? But depends if you trade on 1 hour, then higher chance. But let's say you're trading on bigger time frame, right? Then that means you need to wait for very long for one trade to have a ready setup, right? So if you, as an inexperienced trader, if you have that kind of discipline, right, and patience to wait, then actually that's the best, right? But yeah, so if you could, then of course that would be a better choice. Okay, last call for questions. For example, at lunchtime, I found another setup. You are not using you are not using ACA account A, but you use account B. Yeah, I can do that also. Right. So sometimes, because let's say for example during lunchtime, right, I find another trade, but my account A is in profit, but haven't hit my final TP yet, then obviously I don't want to open two trade within the same account, even though it's in profit. Technically, I already moved my stop loss and blah blah blah, right? Then I will use another account. It's like the wow. Ethereum is really holding. Okay, 3 more minutes, 11:20. If I don't see more questions, then I will call it a day. Yes, if position close already, then I'll go back to account A. Yeah. So if that day soon every trade open close within 1 hour, 2 hours, then sometimes my one account can have like 3-4 trades if it happen to everything goes smoothly. Yeah. I just don't like to keep two open trades in the same account, especially for Bitfun, because the platform hangs sometimes. I don't like it. I don't like to switch the chart. Because if you use Bitfun, you know, right? Every time you refresh, right, it go back to Bitcoin. So technically, if you want to do anything, you need to click the individual token to make sure you are punching in the right number, right? Which is not very ideal. I just want to minimize the risk of me keying or making a mistake when I place order. Okay, welcome. I don't judge the TP by percentage because I measure the distance. Like for example, I long and support TP at resistance, right? I only care because every token move, like the candle average percentage of a candle is different, right? Like for example, like uni, one candle only move like what? Like for example, if I short, one candle is 3% already, right? As long as from the if I were to long, right, like that, to the next resistance 4% already, then obviously I won't limit myself to 4%, to 2%, right? As long as the risk to reward ratio makes sense to me, right, the percentage doesn't matter to me. Minimum 3%. As I said, I don't care about percentage. Okay, I don't do that plus minus 3% thing, right? Because for me, I measure every token differently. James, why have different accounts? Because accounts, the more the merrier. Like more different account means different amount of funds I can use. Just join. What is that purple line? My support and resistance line. Why join at how do you get in logo of wealth? Okay, where you find this thing? Okay, welcome, join. All right, but we're ending soon. Yeah. My minimum RR is 1. 1 is to 1, minimally, right? If I risk $10, I cannot potentially make $10. I mean, I don't do things by risking $10 to make $5. It just doesn't make sense to me. For all the other asset, like all this while, every asset I trade, I just, I mean, anything with less than 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio just doesn't make sense to me, because your potential loss is much more than your potential gain. Yeah. So how would I manage Bitfun max loss per trade limit to what amount, since you are not using 3% stop loss? I got pinged the way I calculate the position in the group, right? Like, I mean, 3% of the entire account still applies. I just, like, I mean, you can read the chat, you can read the post I pinged in the group chat, right? I think I explained pretty clearly, right? Because, I mean, I know some of your, like, be it inexperienced or just don't have the habit of drawing, right? Always stick to the plus minus 3%. But the thing is, sometimes when you enter a trade, right, you punch that time, you just put 3%, right? If this trade so happen, or this particular token, like one candle really from your entry to your previous low, really shows less than 3%, okay, makes sense. But there are also times I see some of y'all, right, y'all enter that time, don't even bother to do a little bit of measuring or calculating, right? Then after enter the trade already, then you go back, then you measure, or after it hits stop loss, then you go and measure, you realize from your entry to your stop loss is actually by right lah, following what y'all were taught in the basic TA knowledge. You know that your stop loss should be below the previous low, right? Then, but when you key in the order that time, you only put 3%. Later hit already. Then only you come back and measure and realize, it's too tight. Because this particular token, one cannot move more than that, right? Or if let's say you are already in this trade, then you only go back to measure and you realize jialat, by right, if I put following what we were taught last time, we put below previous low, it should be 5.72%. But because I already punched in the order based on a minus 3% max stop loss, now I cannot adjust, because if I adjust, then my stop loss will be more than, like, will not follow the rule anymore. Then jialat already mah. So I will suggest you all to always, before entering the trade, do the measurement, which is something me and Coach Lee here always emphasize, right? Do your measurement and see, and then refer to the post I paint, see how you calculate the position size based on the stop loss. Okay, don't take the 3% as a golden rule, because every token moves differently. The pin is in the Telegram group, the Funder Trader group. Because it's for Bitfunder, so I pinned it there. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. Any more questions? Come. Hyper liquid. Huh? You got jump, eh? Wait. Huh? This one considered a jump, eh? No, it's not. Just like I already mentioned, man, this one is a support, right? So if you want to short, make sure it go below. If it not say jump lah, but if it rebounds, that means this support holds, right? Then don't short. But this definitely not considered a jump for hyperliquid lah. You look at the past, at least you see at least a candle like this long, 3.5%. That is the jump. Right now, and some of this one is still below 200 MA. If we close above, then it will look better because then yes, there's a potential of a double bottom, right? That means they need to at least jump above here. Okay, then you call it a jump. This one is what are my rules to cut loss earlier than oh, very rare. I say honestly, I seldom cut loss earlier unless okay, there are chances if let's say I forgot later tonight got some event, right? Then I enter, for example, the event is at 10 p.m. and I enter the trade at 8:30, right? Then sometimes let's say it's not a cut loss, but let's say for example I enter at $1, right? When I like 10 o'clock before I go to bed, then I suddenly remember, oh, there's an event later, right? I shouldn't have entered the trade. Then I look at the token, right? Look at the position, it's at plus minus 1%, plus minus 0.1%. I might just close it. It might be in profit, it might be in losses. That's more common. But in general, I really seldom cut loss early. I will usually let the trade run. Yours showing $49. Huh? What chart are you looking at? $49. Is my internet? It's connecting because I'm doing live. 49. Oh. I don't see a 49 here. You refresh or do you on the playback? Make sure replay. Make sure you are looking at the real-time data. Yeah. Got major news at 8:30. How many hours before that I will stop trading or take profit? If the news is at 8:30, usually like in the afternoon before dinner, right? If more or less I think the profit I'm okay, or let's say the trade more or less already there already, then I'll just close already. Right? I would definitely not look for the trade any that like after lunch that day. Right? That means 2-3 hours before that I would not touch already. Unless I really forget that they got I think there is once I entered, then I realized there's an event, right? But when I remember it's already too late, right? The price literally just changed direction. Then too bad lah. If I cut loss at break-even price, won't you be in at least a few hundred losses due to the fees if you are using a 100K account? The fees is not that scary lah. Even the most volatile coin I trade on Bitfun, the fees only like what, maximum $60? We don't talk about slippage, but if let's say I close a trade early, I'll be closing with a limit price, so there won't be a slippage. Like really, I mean, like last time I mentioned, like sometimes the few $100 losses is due to slippage, right? But not the funding fee. The fee is never that scary. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Right? And break even, okay, honestly, right, break even, right, it's not that scary. Like sometimes, right, in a small percentage of profit, but because I'm using 100K account, right, like very, very small percentage, at 0.05 percentage of profit, right, it's already like what, $60 can cover my trading fee already. Would I always place my stop loss at least below or above the trend line? Yeah, I will, and I'll give some buffer also. Right, not right at the trend line or right at the support resistance. I'll give some buffer. That means, like, for example, long, my stop loss is my support is here. I'll put the stop loss slightly below, give some buffer. How to close using limit order? You just click the close button and key in a limit price. Just click the close button. Right, then you can choose limit or market price. Oh, only on Binance? Oh, that's so weird. Wow. But like, what can you do? I mean, a pound, like, what can you do? Right, one candle like that, I cannot catch also. Other, no? Wow, wow. Hey, you see this, like, other, really only on Binance. Maybe, oh, wow. But if you have spot, bring to Binance and sell. Wow, but this is so weird though. Come. Is it launched on some new exchange? But even so, it should be across all exchanges. Weird. You know, I mean, difference I see all the time lah, but not as drastic as this. Yep. Let me take a screenshot for memorial sake. This is interesting. Wow. That's really my first time seeing this much of a difference. If any of you do arbitrage, then wow, huge win. Okay, let's see which exchange go come out with an announcement for the explanation. Is it Binance problem or every other exchange problem? Okay. What is arbitrage? Very good question. Ask ChatGPT. Okay, I think no more question. 11:30. Okay, I can't do that. ah. Okay. Now, guys, any more questions? Or I should call. Okay, I start to say. I start to see. Thank you. That means no more. Okay, good. Okay, welcome, guys, and have a nice weekend. I'm gonna call it a day. All right. Good night, everyone. Okay, Malik.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and have a fruitful weekend.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.